All righty, TGIF. Thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams, and we're going to talk about your forecast for today into the weekend, which, surprise, surprise, it is still Foguary. And that's not going to change one bit over the next few days. But next week, perhaps some changes on the way. So let's get to a cool picture that one of our viewers sent us of some fog. Earlier this week, Randy sent this picture to the WLOX weather app. And this is out somewhere on the Mississippi coast by a little dock or pier. And look at the water. It's hard to see where the water starts and the pier ends, right? It's like a perfect mirror reflection. And I'm just always stunned by that when you can get such an image. So thank you so much, Randy, for sending that to the WLOX weather app. Thank you to all of our viewers who send us your weather pictures and videos from the local area. But this still sort of stagnant weather pattern that's been in place is what kind of allows fog to form and fester. It's one of the key ingredients when you have this sort of still high pressure pattern to help fog form. And we are still under a dense fog advisory on the Mississippi coast. This goes until 10 a.m. For the coastal counties. Let's take a closer look at this map, see what the latest is on these alerts. Time is now 8:15 on Friday morning, so this is a look at the alert that's for Pearl River, Hancock, excuse me, Pearl River, Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson. Sorry, trying to spout off those county names there. Caught me off guard. But let's click this one for you. So for these four counties, that goes until 10 a.m. For the Stone and George counties, which are out of the National Weather Service's Mobile, that one goes until 9 a.m. So either way, sometime around 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, we'll begin to see the fog decreasing. It kind of looks like it's already beginning to decrease based on this visibility map. Some places still seeing it more than others, though, as of 8:16. And look at this cool time lapse that we've put together for you out of Biloxi by Back Bay. During the 5 o'clock hour, the fog was getting worse, and then it got horrible during the 6 and 7 o'clock hours. Let's see if there's any improvement. 8, no, still pretty bad in Biloxi by 8 a.m. So that's a live view from the IP Casino Resort and Spa in Biloxi, and looks like it's completely fogged out there. We can't see the I-110. So it is definitely a foggy start to the day with spring-like and muggy weather going through the weekend. And then next week we'll see some higher rain chances. Here's one of the other things we were following this morning. We actually had some rain showers developing. Did you see some raindrops on Friday morning? This is a look at the first alert radar during the Friday morning time frame. And you can see some of these showers that were developing over portions of Harrison and Jackson counties. Can do a little bit of a zoomed in view to see where some of these were. And I'll kind of pause the radar. Around 6:30 this morning, we had some of these showers near Woolmarket, D'Iberville. Also had some more of them near Van Cleve, Big Point, and Hurley. So some parts of South Mississippi did get some rain earlier Friday morning. Looks like at this moment in time, as we move the radar to the current moment, don't really have much left from those. But keep in mind, our rain chances, they're not 0%. Yesterday, there were some places that got rained on too. This is a recap of yesterday's first alert radar back on Thursday, February 6th. And at 9 in the morning, we saw some light rain near Poplarville. At noon, we actually saw a bit more hit or miss rain for areas in between Poplarville and Picayune. And then around the afternoon, had a few more hit or miss showers in Stone County, not too far from Wiggins and Perkinston. So rain showers isolated this morning. Also had some isolated rain showers yesterday. Like I said, this is a pattern that is going to kind of keep going with these little low rain chances, but not zero. So today there is a 20% chance for rain. We'll see temperatures into the 70s, probably the mid 70s. Yesterday, we actually hit a high temperature of 75 at the Gulfport Airport. That was the warmest afternoon so far this entire month, and probably one of the warmest afternoons since we had that kind of Arctic blast last week. But even though Gulfport was at 75 yesterday at 1:53 p.m. for the high, there were some other places that around 2:30 p.m. yesterday made it into the 80s. Check out Pearl River County, making it into the 80s in many spots. We almost had 80 near Stennis, and we also were pretty close to 80 near Van Cleve and Hickory Hills, as well as near Wiggins Big Levels. So just goes to show you that it is a possibility to see those temperatures climbing close to 80, and that will happen again today. The forecast highs for today will be in the mid to upper 70s along the coast, so pretty mild there considering normal high is 63. And then just downright warm for those areas that are generally north of I-10. We're expecting lower 80s in places like Poplarville, Wiggins, and Lucedale. This pattern continues for the weekend. We're expecting another round of mid-70s and lower 80s for highs as we go from Friday into Saturday. Sunday, by just a few degrees, could actually be the warmest out of the next 3 or 4 days. And then next Monday, temperatures are still above normal, but perhaps we'll see fewer 80s for some of our inland areas. So the map for the temperatures, let's pull that up. By the way, let's take a look at the temperature trend, like what's going on, the pattern. So we've got in the upper levels high pressure that's located off toward our east. And this is the clockwise circulation around that high pressure system is what's letting us get some mild air off the Gulf and muggy air too. So that's why our dew points have kind of come up. If you're noticing it's muggier, that's one of the reasons why, because we keep seeing a persistent wind flow off of the Gulf. Some parts of our region could actually see near record high temperatures today. Will that be in Gulfport, Biloxi, where we're forecasting mid-70s and the record is in the mid-80s? No, I don't think so. But Hattiesburg and Mobile, the forecast highs are just one away from their record. So near record warmth for Hattiesburg and Mobile could be the warmest February 7th ever recorded for those locations. Jackson and New Orleans, not that far from the record either. They're about 3 degrees away from their record highs, respectively. So keep in mind, with this pattern, we're going to see these above normal temperatures, and for some parts of the region, could be above normal. Take a look at today, 70s and 80s across the Deep South. Keep your eye on the Lone Star State, because tomorrow, Texas is going for the big 9-0. Check it out. It makes me almost break a sweat looking at this. San Angelo going for 90. San Antonio not that far from 90. We'll see 70s and 80s here in Mississippi on Saturday. And watch what happens in San Angelo. You see, the reason why they're going to have a big temperature drop from 90 on Saturday to 51 on Sunday is because there's a stalled front that might meander a little bit farther to the south of their location. Today, here's the position of a stalled front across the region, and we are seeing this mild air along the coast, dry air, much drier air to the north of that front. And temperature-wise, there's also a split there too. Our temperatures this morning during the 8 o'clock hour are in the 60s, and they're seeing cold, freezing temperatures in St. Louis, Missouri this morning. So depending on where you are, that will determine how cool it is. And this weekend, if you have plans to travel to North Mississippi, please understand it's going to be cooler up there because they're on the other side of that front, even though it is milder down here along the coast. Like I said, we have seen those dew points come way up. If you remember this past weekend, it was so pleasant with delightfully dry air last weekend. The first few days of February, but as we've gone deeper into February, we've noticed the dew points go up. The moisture in the atmosphere is increasing as we get that wind off the Gulf. And that is one of the things that actually makes it much easier for fog to form when we have that moist air flowing in off the Gulf. But we don't really see too much in the way of rain showers based on satellite and first alert radar, other than just these little bitty isolated showers. Now, look at next week. This is one of the last things we'll do before we go. Just talk about Monday through Wednesday of next week. The GFS model showing rainy weather everywhere, but look at the higher totals between Jackson and Memphis, 1 to 3 inches of rain. Take a look at the European model, also showing around 1 to 3 inches of rain near and north of Jackson. Meanwhile, down here on the coast, maybe we'll see rain totals closer to a ½ inch, closer to 1 inch, if that, around that time frame. So we will see an increase in rain chance next week here in South Mississippi, but we are not expecting to see the type of heavier rain showers that other areas to our north could see. So wrapping it up with our 7-day forecast, as that loads, you'll notice that we do see that higher rain chance. Even though it is only 20% now into the weekend, it will go up to about 30 or 40% next week. There are times in which it could go even higher than that, maybe around Tuesday, as we see that Gulf moisture coming in and that stalling front being a triggering mechanism to kind of make those showers develop across the region. So even though we don't need the umbrella much for now, we might break it out a little bit more going into next week. So now you're better informed about the forecast, and I hope that you can find your way through the Friday morning fog and keep an eye out for more February fog or more Foguary as we go into the upcoming weekend. Thank you so much for waking up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Hope that you have a great weekend. Take care. See you on the next